Most people don't quit jiu-jitsu when they decide to, they quit when their body decides for them. And if you're over 40, you already know what this feels like. Nobody wakes up one day thinking, today seems like a good day to stop training. They leave after one injury too many, one recovery that never quite comes back, one moment where the body quietly says, that was the last one. By the end of this video, you'll understand why that happens, and more importantly, how to make sure that decision stays yours. Because the most dangerous part of this process is that it doesn't feel dramatic when it starts. It feels normal. And that's why almost everyone misses the moment where it could still be reversed. I'm Hadrian. I've spent a lifetime in martial arts and the last 15 years teaching and competing in jiu-jitsu, and now I'm deep into my 40s, juggling work, family, and life. So I'm here to share some of the strategies and philosophies that have kept me healthy, competitive, and learning on the mat. Now, most grapplers are obsessed with building capacity, getting stronger, getting faster, more flexible, more controlled, etc., etc. When you're young, that works. You can pile stress onto the system and it adapts. But after a certain age, the same mindset can be like throwing oil on a fire. You add more strength to joints that don't fully recover, more conditioning to a nervous system that never fully downshifts, more volume to a body already running a recovery deficit. Longevity isn't determined by how much capacity you can build. It's determined by how much capacity you can preserve. Any good investor understands this. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. You can keep adding horsepower every year, but if your usable capacity keeps shrinking, the outcome is already decided. Because once capacity starts leaking faster than you can build it or rebuild it, effort doesn't slow the decline, it accelerates it. And most people don't realize they've crossed that line until something suddenly doesn't heal. At that point, you still feel capable. You can still roll, still push, still train, but the margin for error keeps getting smaller and smaller. What used to be a sore shoulder now means a missed week. What used to resolve overnight now lingers for months. That's not weakness, that's information. The problem is the body doesn't warn you loudly when that margin starts to disappear. It just stops forgiving mistakes. Most over 40 grapplers respond by training at the same intensity they always have. What changes isn't their effort, it's their ability to absorb it. Recovery slows, information sticks around, fatigue never fully clears. Intensity itself isn't the problem. The problem is intensity that the system can't cash in. Every hard session becomes a withdrawal instead of an investment. You like all these metaphors? I feel like they're colorful, but they're getting the point across. The cruel irony is that the harder you push to protect your edge, the faster your system starts pulling the plug. Starting with the one system you think you can control, your breathing. When breathing is shallow, fast, and mouth dominant, your body stays on high alert even when training is over. Heart rate stays elevated, stress hormones stay high, sleep gets lighter, and recovery doesn't even begin, let alone finish. You don't feel relaxed because your body never gets the signal that the danger has passed, so you end up stacking stress on top of stress, even on your rest days. And once the nervous system stops fully downshifting, something else starts happening quietly. Your conditioning begins working against you. Now, most conditioning for jiu-jitsu is built around suffering. High impact, high fatigue, high joint cost. For younger athletes, that trade-off is survivable. For older grapplers, it's a slow bleed. Endurance should make you harder to break, not more worn down. And when endurance starts costing more than it gives, there's only one system left to absorb the damage. And it's the one system that people only think about after it fails, and that's recovery. Most grapplers don't think about recovery until something hurts. Ice after pain, rest after injury, back off only when forced. That's not recovery, that's damage control. Real recovery is proactive. It manages nervous system load before it compounds, it keeps tissues healthy before they fail, and it makes sure that your training actually leaves you feeling better than just tired. Because once recovery can't keep up, the decision isn't gradual anymore, it's sudden. And by the time most people notice, the choice, well, that's already been made. That's exactly why I created the Roll Forever cheat sheet. It breaks down the difference between capacity preservation and capacity chasing, the systems that quietly decide longevity and how to shift your training before your body forces the issue. 7 plug-and-play practices you can apply to your very next training session. The link's below. I've also thrown in a little surprise something with the cheat sheet that will help you go even deeper if longevity on the mat is something you're interested in. So make sure you check your inbox. So look, you won't quit jiu-jitsu the day you lose motivation. You'll quit the day your body stops recovering. Longevity isn't about how much you build, it's about how much you don't lose. Train like that and the decision stays yours. Ignore it and your body will make it for you. If this hits home, watch this video next where I talk about the keys to starting jiu-jitsu over 40, a few juicy little concepts that'll keep you rolling, doing what you love for decades without being forced off the road by Father Time. I'll see you there.